Hey, it's Luke and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to give you the most practical and helpful tools, advice, and knowledge that you need to manifest your dream life. The first thing that you need to know, firstly, is that manifesting is real. And then I'm going to talk you through exactly how it works and how you can begin to manifest your dream life. So stay tuned, I'm going to talk you through all of that in this video now. So the first thing you need to understand with manifestation is that you are constantly manifesting all of the time anyway. You just most likely don't know it. So you can substitute the word manifest if you don't like it. You can just use the word create, but you are constantly manifesting or creating for all of your time on this planet. That's what you're doing. But to understand this, you first need to understand who you are. So you, on your deepest level, is consciousness in its purest state. Okay, you are not your mind, you are not the thoughts, you are not the body, you are not your name, you are not the roles that you act out in this world, you are not the labels that you've attached to yourself. You are awareness or consciousness in its purest, unmanifested state. That is who you are on your deepest level. You are consciousness. You are an unmanifested, formless awareness or energy that is experiencing the world of form. So when you realize that and you can grasp that you are consciousness in its purest state, you can then start to see that you are actually manifesting all of the time. And I'm going to give you an example with that now. What is the one thing that the consciousness is constantly manifesting? It is your thoughts. Your thoughts are things. They are real, right? They are things that exist in this three-dimensional universe, right? Thoughts don't exist, and then they do exist. What's the definition of that? It's manifest or create. So you are constantly manifesting all of the time anyway. You are manifesting thoughts because you are not your thoughts. You are consciousness in its purest, unmanifested state. You are not your thoughts. You are the conscious awareness of your thoughts. So thoughts, when they arise in your mind, when they come up in your head, they are physical things. They are, you can think of them as neurons, electrical sparks, whatever, right? We don't really know what thoughts are. Scientists don't know what a thought is, but they're things, right? They exist. How do we know that? Because they're there, so we can see them. They're real. They exist in this three-dimensional world. So consciousness is constantly manifesting anyway. This is a very low level of manifestation, but it is constantly manifesting thoughts. And then these thoughts, what do? We know that thoughts directly link to the feelings that you feel. So your consciousness, okay, and the majority of the time people's thoughts are completely unconscious anyway, but it's still consciousness manifesting them. Without consciousness, the thoughts couldn't arise. Consciousness manifests the thoughts in your head. These thoughts affect the way you feel, so they cause feelings in your body, and these feelings affect actions that you take into the world. And the actions that you take into the world affect the world around you. And the actions that you take into the world affect your external world. So that's the process you can think of in terms of manifestation. If you struggle to believe in it, you can't really argue with this, because this is the process. Consciousness manifests the thought manifests a feeling, the feeling manifests a certain action, and it's your actions in the world that directly causes what you experience in the world, right? Because the actions that you put out into the world will return back to you. So if you're putting out negative actions, negative things will return back to you. If you're putting out positive actions, positive things will return back to you. Okay, so stay with me here. So let me give you an example. Say, for example, you have a thought manifested into your mind, and that thought is, I don't have enough money. Okay, what's that thought going to do? So your consciousness has manifested a thought. The thought is going to manifest a feeling. And what's the feeling? It's a feeling of lack. The thought is going to manifest a feeling of lack. And what that does is it causes your body to vibrate at a certain frequency of lack. Okay, so you're going to be vibrating at a certain frequency of lack. So just to clarify here, feelings are energy and your body is energy. So the feelings that you're feeling will cause your body to resonate at a certain frequency. So if you're operating from a frequency of lack, what's happening is that your actions are going to be coming from a place of lack. And if you're acting from a place of lack, as you put things out into the world, the vibrational frequency of those actions will return the same vibrational frequency back to you. So if you're operating from an experience of lack is what you're going to experience on return. If you're operating, for example, of feeling of abundance, so if that same process of a thought, feeling, action came from a place of abundance is going to return back to you. These are the laws of physics, okay? Every action has an equal and opposite reaction, right? We know this. So that's the process of manifestation. Consciousness in its purest state is constantly manifesting your life all of the time anyway. Just a lot of the time you're not in control of it, because consciousness manifests a thought, which manifests a feeling, which causes your body to vibrate at a certain frequency. And I'm going to post a picture here so you can see the frequency that I'm talking about in terms of the frequencies that you should be operating to experience in your life more positive things. So at the top we've got love and those sorts of frequencies, and at the bottom we've got desire and lack. So if you're operating from this bottom level, from lack, okay, and that starts with a thought, a feeling, a behavior, and if they're all coming from this lower vibrational frequency, that's what your world is going to show back to you. That's what your world's going to become. But if you're operating from this higher level of love and abundance, these higher levels of being, of existing, of vibrating at a certain frequency, when you're at the higher level, what that means is that the actions that you put out into the world are going to return back to you these same vibrational frequencies. That's the best way that I can think of for getting through to you that manifestation is real, because the first step is to believe it. Okay, so I didn't believe it for the longest of time until I went through my spiritual awakening and my consciousness started to expand, and I started to realize a lot more things about the world, and I started to realize that we didn't know really anything, right? Until you transcend thought, as I call it, or awaken, you don't really know much. And then kind of my consciousness expanded and I started to realize this stuff, okay? And this is the best way I can think of to describe it in kind of scientific terms, because that's the cognitive behavioral therapy model, right? Your thoughts cause your feelings, cause your behaviors. That's, very well understood in psychology, clinical psychology. Your thoughts lead to your feelings, which lead to your behaviors. So that's what cognitive behavioral therapy does for people. It's just on a very low level, but it changes your thoughts, which changes your feelings, which changes your behaviors, which changes your external world. But then what does that mean in terms of manifesting? How do you use this knowledge to manifest a better life? So hopefully you can see now what I think is one of the best ways to do it. Okay. You need to attack one of these points, and rather than, because for most people what's happening is that their life is completely unconscious. It's just, you're just being driven. If you're not aware of yourself and you don't have a certain level of consciousness, you're not aware of yourself and you can't control anything that you're doing. You're just in a body that's just being driven by unconscious processes. You're in a self-driving car almost, and you have no control over it because your thoughts are just going and you can't control them. Your feelings are caused by your thoughts, which means you're not controlling your feelings. And you're not controlling your actions because your thoughts are leading to your feelings, which are leading to your actions. And you're just in a self-driving car and you have no ability to take back control of it until you become aware of what's happening. And the first step for most people when they do that is to become aware that they are not thinking their thoughts. Their thoughts are happening to them. So you are not, unless you are aware of your thoughts, unless you are aware of them, you are not in control of your life. Your life is being driven by the unconscious processes of the mind. It's just a circuitry of neurological impulses in the brain that have just been developed from your genetic makeup and your past experiences that would have led to certain thoughts just circling through the mind for the majority of your day, if not all of your day. And then that leads your feelings, which that leads your behaviors. So you're not in control of your life. So becoming aware of this process that I'm talking about here allows you to gain free will. Because if you're not aware of it, you don't have free will because you're not taking control of your actions. They're just happening to you. You're not really there. You're just kind of just moving and going through the world based off of these kind of inbuilt processes of the brain. So the fastest way to begin to take back control of your life, to manifest the things that you want into life, and to take back control of your life, your actions, your feelings, and your behaviors, is to become aware of the thoughts in your mind. That's the fastest route for me that I can see for this to happen, is to become aware of what thoughts you are constantly thinking. So for most people, because the world that we've created for ourselves is quite negative, because ego has created the majority of our world at the moment, so the world that we live in is quite negative at the moment, your thoughts are most likely going to be very negative because your life experiences have most likely been quite negative, right? That's why most people today are feeling low, depressed and anxious, because their past experiences have been not great, because we're living in a man-made world, okay? And because of that, the thoughts in the mind are going to be quite negative, the feelings in the body are going to be quite negative, so the actions that we take out into the world are going to be quite negative, and because of that, every action we put out into the world returns the same vibrational frequency to us. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So every action you put out into the world of a certain vibrational frequency of that chart is going to return that same thing back to you. But the fastest way to begin to manifest your dream life is to attack one of these points. So whether your thoughts, your feelings, or your behaviors. So the fastest route, I think, is attacking your thoughts or attacking your feelings, because they're linked so closely. Because a lot of the time it's very difficult to act in a certain way if you're not thinking and feeling in a certain way, right? So that's the fastest route, really. And the way to do that is to stop listening or bring awareness to the thoughts in your mind, because you are not, as I've discussed, the thoughts in your head. You are the awareness of that voice in your head that's constantly talking. The moment you bring awareness to it, what happens is you raise your vibrational frequency because you're growing in consciousness. This chart of the levels of kind of consciousness here, that's what it is, right? So a lot of people say that it's vibrational frequency. It's levels of consciousness. It's how conscious you are, how much consciousness you have in your being, how rooted you are into being. This is what this chart represents. So in order to raise your vibrational frequency, the fastest route to do that is to become more conscious. How do you do that? You become aware, firstly, of what I have just said, that your thoughts are driving your behavior. The moment you become aware of that, you are becoming more conscious. Do you hear how that works? When you become aware that your thoughts are driving your behavior, that your thoughts are causing your feelings, which are causing your behaviors, and you're not in control of them, when you become conscious of that, you are becoming more conscious, which means you are raising your vibrational frequency. Makes sense? So the fastest route to raise your vibrational frequency is awareness. Awareness of what's happening. And the fastest route to gain more awareness is through the present moment. So becoming aware of your surroundings, of your present moment, including your thoughts, including your feelings, including your behaviors. That's the fastest route to do it. So become aware of your present moment now. Just try it. Just become aware of wherever you are, wherever you're sitting, wherever you are right now, watching me on your screen, in whatever your surroundings. Just become intensely aware of your present moment. And that includes what thoughts you're thinking. Okay, so just become aware of your present moment. You don't have to do it for the next 10 minutes. Just for right now, become aware. The fastest way to raise your vibrational frequency, to manifest your dream life, is awareness. Awareness of the present moment, and that includes becoming aware that you are lost, that you were lost in the mind, and transcending thought, which means to become aware of your mind, which means to become aware that you are not the thoughts in your head, you are the awareness of your thoughts in your head. And then what you can do is either stop thinking the negative thoughts, or more helpfully, manifest better thoughts. So you can then start to take back control of the thoughts in your mind. And at first that might be quite difficult. That's okay. You don't have to do it forever. Just try it for 30 seconds to start off with. Just for 30 seconds, set a timer and start saying to yourself, even if you don't believe them at first, but hopefully you can see now the process and I've instilled a bit of a belief into you. But even if you don't believe them at first, just start to think more helpful or start to manifest more helpful thoughts into your head, such as, I am abundant. I am filled with love. Love surrounds me. I am abundant in all areas of my life. Whatever that might be, whatever it is that you feel that you want, okay? And I always suggest, please try not to focus too much on the things, focus on the feelings that you want to feel, because it's never the thing you want anyway, it's always the feeling that you want to, the feeling that you think you're going to get from gaining that thing. It's never the thing that you want, it's always the feeling that you think you're going to get from gaining that thing, okay? So it's not the new car you want, it's more likely a feeling of importance or something like that. That's the thing that people want, okay? So it's not the new house you want, it's a feeling of safety and a feeling of comfort. Right? It's not the money that you want, it's the feeling of safety and the feeling of comfort from having lots of money. It's not the things themselves that you want, it's the feeling you think you're going to get from gaining those things. But you can give yourself that feeling now by thinking certain thoughts, or rather transcending the thoughts in your mind and finding that part of you that is awareness, the awareness of the thoughts in your mind. And when you are the awareness of the thoughts in your mind, those thoughts, the negative thoughts, dissolve and you become fully grounded in the present moment. And when you are fully grounded in the present moment, and you can try it now to become really grounded in the present moment, because of those thoughts have dissolved, you feel at peace. You feel abundant now. Because the thing that stops you from feeling at peace is the thoughts in your head. So the fastest route to manifesting your dream life is to firstly become aware that you are constantly manifesting your life anyway, because you're manifesting certain thoughts, which is manifesting feelings, which are manifesting actions, which return things back to you. The fastest route to manifesting your dream life is focusing on raising your vibration. And to raise your vibration comes from raising your level of consciousness. And hopefully that's happened just in this video, because you're now more conscious than you were of this process. And because you're more conscious of this process, you have already raised your vibrational frequency or your level of consciousness, which means you're operating from a higher level. So this is the process of manifesting your dream life. You need to focus on raising your level of being, your level of consciousness. And you do that by focusing on the certain feelings that you want to feel. And you can do that. The fastest route to doing that is to transcending thought, which is to become awareness of the thoughts. And then you start to allow yourself to feel as though you already have the things that you want. And you do that by focusing on the feelings that you want to feel of abundance, of freedom, of safety, whatever it might be. You allow yourself to feel those now. And when you allow yourself to feel those things now, your external world will start to match these internal feelings. And hopefully you believe that now because of that process I've just described to you. Because if you're feeling abundant, if you're feeling free, if you're feeling like you're filled with love, your thoughts will lead to feelings which lead to actions, and your actions return back to you the same vibrational frequency that they were when you put them out. So this is the process, and this is what we need to focus on doing, is raising your vibrational frequency. And now for one more technique that I just need to, hopefully that's instilled belief into you. I now want to show you just one more thing that can massively change your levels of vibrational frequency to more consciousness. And it's another video that I'll post down below as well, that I've made in more depth. But it's to realize that you are not the one moving through time. You never leave the present moment. Time moves through you. Okay, the future makes its way towards you. And when you realize that and you grasp that, what then happens is, rather than you trying to get to the things that you want, okay, you allow those things to make their way towards you. So you can try it now. This is in my opinion, the most helpful manifestation technique, is to picture the thing that you want ahead of you, but rather than seeing yourself trying to get there, see that thing making its way towards you, knowing that you never leave the present moment. You'll never leave this moment right now. There will be no future that you ever arrive to, okay, because you can never leave this moment. So you allow those things to move towards you. You allow those things to come towards you. You picture them ahead of you, but know they are making their way towards you, and you're never going to leave the present moment. They are coming towards you. And the reason why that raises your vibrational frequency is because if you see yourself trying to get there, you're going to be operating from a state of lack, But if you realize that they are making their way towards you, what happens is it makes it feel like they are already yours, because they are already yours, because you realize that time makes its way through you, which means the things of your future are heading towards you. So that means that when you picture the things that you want and you feel as though you already have them, they are making their way towards you. What does that mean? Thoughts, feeling, behaviors. If you see the things that you want making their way towards you, and if it's safety, if it's abundance, if it's freedom, if it's love, and you see those things, you can try it now, see them making their way towards you. It puts you into a state of abundance because it feels as though they are already yours. And if it feels as though they are already yours, you're going to be operating from the same vibrational frequency as the higher levels on the chart of abundance, of freedom, of love. And because you're operating on those, your actions are going to be vibrating a certain frequency, which means because you're operating from a certain frequency, the frequency that you're operating at will return that back to you. That's the process of manifesting your dream life. Your external world will match your internal world. To change your internal world, you raise your level of consciousness. To raise your level of consciousness, you become completely aware of the present moment, including the thoughts, feelings and behaviours that you may have been operating for the majority of your life. But the moment you become aware of them, you can start to change them. It is awareness that will free you from the looping patterns of the brain. It's becoming aware of them. It's becoming conscious of them. The moment you become conscious of them, you can change them. When you become conscious of your thoughts, you can change them because you are no longer being driven by ego. You are no longer being driven by the mind. You are then the awareness of the mind. And because you are the awareness of the mind, you can take a step back. You can look at it. You can see that you are not those thoughts, you are the one aware of them. And because you are aware of them, you can then change them. You can either choose to drop them, to let them go, or to manifest better thoughts, to think better thoughts. And when you're thinking better thoughts and you believe them, that's very key. It's not good enough to just say them. You have to believe them at some point. Okay, so you can start off just saying them if you're a bit in your early days and it's a bit difficult to change your thoughts for now. You can start saying them without believing them. After a while, you'll start to believe them a little bit more. So that can still work. But it's important that at some point you have to believe the thoughts. Because when you believe the thoughts, you believe that the feeling then comes, right? It's not just thoughts that causes feelings, it's the belief in your thoughts. That's what causes feelings, right? So when you believe your more positive thoughts, and hopefully I've instilled that belief into you now, but when you believe your more positive thoughts, those feelings will come and the actions will come and then abundance will return back to you. And that's all you need to focus on. You don't need to focus on how the abundance is going to come. You don't need to focus on what the abundance is going to look like, okay? Because very often people get those things wrong. Right, I remember hearing someone, Stephen Bartlett, the person that is on Dragon's Den at the moment, he said that he wanted for the majority of his life abundance and he wanted a big mansion. And he went and bought a big mansion and he was incredibly miserable because he was in that big mansion, but he was also like 20, 30 miles away from his friends, so he couldn't see his friends, so his friends couldn't even come and see the mansion. And he was lonely and he sold it and then went and lived in London, right? So very often the thing that you want is usually wrong. Okay, because you make an image in your mind of what you think you want, but very often that thing won't actually give you the feeling that you want. So for another example, people very often want lots of money, but they associate that with a business and they think, okay, I want my own business. But when actually they don't want the money, what they want is freedom. But the business will very rarely give someone freedom because you have to work a lot of hours when running a business, right? So that's a lot of the time where manifestation goes wrong because your thing that you want doesn't match the actual feeling that you want to feel. Okay, so the most helpful way to manifest your dream life is to just focus on the feelings that you want to feel. Okay, so if there is certain things that you do want, you can use this still to kind of manifest them into your life. But you have to be incredibly conscious of the fact that sometimes the things that you think you want won't actually give you the feeling that you want to feel. Okay, so you have to kind of rationalize that with yourself and just think, okay, is that really what I want? Right? Do I really want a business that's going to require a lot of hours of working? Or do I want a job that pays more money, that has less hours? right? That would give you a lot more freedom, give you time to spend time with your family, things like that. So maybe it's not a business you want, maybe it's a job that you want, that just, maybe you work from home, you work remote hours, and there's less of them, but you can get more money, okay? So does that make sense there when I say that sometimes the thing that we think we want isn't the actual thing that will give us the feeling that we want? So the most helpful way to do this is just focus on raising your vibrational frequency to a experience of abundance and love and all of the higher levels. And then that's all you need to do. And your life will start to take to your experience of life will start to become easier. It doesn't mean that it won't challenge you, but it will mean that it becomes a bit easier, and abundance will start to attract to you if you are operating from a vibrational frequency of abundance over lack. So the biggest factor that gets in the way of manifestation and manifesting your dream life is that you create things that you think that you want, and you start trying to get them, which instantly puts you into a state of lack. Can you see, I don't want you to miss this, can you see why that's not working? Because you're in a state of lack, because you're trying to get something. So you need to let go of the thing that you want and just focus on raising your vibrational frequency, and your life will start to manifest abundance and love to you. But it may not be in the image that you thought you wanted, but that's okay, because it's not the thing that you want anyway. It's the feeling that you think you're going to get from that thing, but you can give yourself that feeling now by raising your vibrational frequency, by becoming more conscious, by letting go of your negative thoughts, negative feelings, and negative behaviors. Can you see the process? Can you see how it works? And it all starts from awareness, becoming aware of your present moment, or what, as I say, transcending the thoughts of your mind and becoming aware, the awareness of your thoughts of your mind. I've talked you through the entire process. Become aware of your thoughts. Change your thoughts to more helpful thoughts. When you change your thoughts to more helpful thoughts, that will change the feelings, which change the behaviors, which then will, when you're operating from a state of abundance, abundance will return back to you. Picture the things that you want and realize you're not heading towards them, they are coming towards you. These things, these are the process, these are the tools. Combining them all together, what that looks like, bringing all of these things that I've talked about, bringing them together, what that looks like is transcending thought. When I say transcending thought, and I'm going to make more videos on this channel about it, transcending thought means to no longer be identified with the thoughts in your head, the running commentary in the mind that has just developed there from past experiences. When you become the awareness of your mind, the awareness of your body, the awareness of your external surroundings, you're becoming more conscious, you are raising your vibrational frequency, and your life will become easier, your life will become better. And if you don't believe me with all of that, I really just suggest try it. What have you got to lose? Well, it doesn't work, okay, you'll be in the same position. If it does work, and you just get a glimpse into, oh wow, that does work. I changed my thoughts, I changed my feelings, I started to feel a bit more abundant, let go of the things that I thought I needed, and to start to feel a bit more abundant now, and things start appearing into your life that makes your life easier. Things start becoming easier, and life starts to work in your favour. We are the biggest barriers very often to our life, okay? So when you become more conscious of who you are, which is consciousness in its purest state, and you connect with that part of you, you can then start changing the goings on in your body and in your mind, which changes the vibrational frequency of your body, which changes the vibrational frequency that you put out into the world. And when you put positive vibrations out into the world, positive vibrations return back to you. When you put for positive actions, vibrations into the world, positive actions and vibrations return back to you. A vibration of abundance will return abundance back to you. A vibration of love will return love back to you. So if you want to start manifesting more love into your life, give more love. If you want to start attracting more abundance to your life, give more freely. Okay, just start giving to people. When you start giving, smiling at strangers, when you start saying hello to people from a place of genuine love and care, or giving money to people that need it, and you just start giving, what you'll start to find, and it takes a bit of a leap of faith really here, but when you start to do this and you start to give more freely, abundance will start to return back to you. That's the process of life. That's the law of physics. That which you give out will return back to you. The world is just vibrational energy. Okay, this table here, this chair that I'm sitting on, isn't a chair. It's energy vibrating at a certain frequency that forms a chair. The words that I'm using to speak to you now, these are just vibrational frequencies moving to the air, into a camera, recording it, and then moving it back out of your device and into your ear. Everything is energy vibrating at a certain frequency. So all you need to focus on is vibrating at a higher frequency of abundance. And you do that by bringing yourself into the present moment, acknowledging what you have with gratitude. Okay, that's obviously the other bigger one I don't think I've mentioned, gratitude, which means just becoming fully grateful for everything that exists to you in the present moment, showing gratitude for it, whatever it is. Everyone's got something to be grateful for. Okay, yes, there might be horrible things in your life at the moment as well. Okay, but just for now, just for a moment, just bring your attention away from those things into the things that you can be grateful for, even if it's just being able to take a breath. Okay, something that simple, just being grateful. I've got a body. I can breathe. I can breathe healthily. Or I've got a comfortable bed to sleep in every night. Or I've got a bit of money in my bank account. It may not be as much as you'd like, but you've got a bit of money there. You can afford food. You can afford rent. Okay, I'm grateful for that. Allowing yourself to feel those feelings. All of these things, raising your vibrational frequency. Okay, that's all you need to focus on. You don't need to focus on the things that you want, because the moment you do that, you put yourself into a state of lack. You just start focusing on the things that you want. You stop focusing on the things that you want, and you start focusing on the feelings that you want to feel, and you allow yourself to feel those feelings now. When you do that, your life will start to reflect your internal world. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it's been helpful for you. If it has, please leave a like, please leave a comment, please subscribe if you haven't already. I'm going to be posting so many more videos on manifestation, manifesting your dream life, expanding your consciousness, healing your suffering by transcending thought. This is what this channel is going to be about. I'm excited to make it for you. So please leave a comment, please like, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.